Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Southern Rounds, a songwriter show here brought to you by, hey, us, Southern Rounds. We do it all. We are so happy to be here. I'm back in the saddle. It's Kevin Mack. I am hosting because my boy Dave Kennedy is picking in and grinning. So it's good to be here again. We got some great songwriters. If you're new, again, we just got back actually from South Carolina playing a Southern Round show at the Carolina Country Music Fest this weekend. We're back live playing them out. And this next weekend, we're heading to New Jersey to do one at the Barefoot Festival. But in between, we're here online every other week. Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. So, again, I'm Kevin Mack. Good to be here, and we're a songwriters round. If you're new here, um, here in Nashville, Tennessee, we write songs for a living. We write songs that you hear on country radio, that you stream. That if you got a favorite artist, odds are he didn't write it by himself. But if he did, he's really good. But this is what this show does. And if you're a frequent Southern Rounder, glad to have you back. And we're going to kick it off. I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to give it to my brother Dave Kennedy. Y'all know him very well. He's been hosting this thing, and he's also a great songwriter and singer. And Dave, it's good to see you, brother.
It feels like what about 48 hours since I've seen you, man?
And I'll see you in another 48.
Another 48 in the lower 48, right?
That's it.
I'll
Take
tell
it
you
away.
what. Something cool happened to me a few weeks ago. A song that I wrote several years ago with a guy named Larry Fleet. We wrote this song right after we had been on a television talent show contest thing called Real Country on the USA Network. And Larry and I got together. We became fast friends and wrote a song called Working Man. I've played it on here several times. And about a month ago, I got an email or a phone call or a text or something from Nina, who works at Blackstone Entertainment here with all of us, at least with Kevin and I, saying that American Idol was interested in using this song on the show, which was kind of floored me because Larry had put it out, but he put it out as a little acoustic sort of thing right before his record deal started, and so I just didn't really know that it had that many years on it. And sure enough, we've come to find out the day that I think it was the day before the last show, or the show before the penultimate, as they call it. A young man named Noah Thompson, who probably lived a lot more of this song than I did. I'm more of an imposter about talking about blue collar stuff. I just like to not work as much as I can. The reason I write songs, I suppose. But this song evidently spoke to him, man, and it was really cool to watch that show that night. And I'd had songs cut by other artists, but up to that point, it had always been somebody who had been a co-writer on the song. And so watching somebody who didn't write the words, but it still spoke to them, it was a pretty surreal moment. And it was a really, really cool thing to see how much that song affected him, and to watch all those people check it out. So I thought I'd start it off with that. It's called Working Man. 4 a.m. Don't it come way too soon? You think by now that's something you'd be used to. You put on your coffee, you cut on the news. It's gonna be hot as hell, but at least those skies are blue. You're clocking in and wore out, but you do what you gotta do. And I know you're tired, I know you're hurting, I know you broke down to the bone. But the bills are paid and there's smiling faces waiting on you at home. It ain't always easy, it ain't ever like you planned. Oh, but man, ain't it working man. Now you're going home while the sun's going down. You're still miles away, but you already hear the sound of a little voice saying, Daddy, come out and play. So you steal a couple more minutes from a damn good day. You clocking in and wore out and wouldn't want it any other way. And I know you're tired, I know you're hurting, I know you broke down to the bone, but your bills are paid and there's smiling faces waiting on you at home. It ain't always easy, it ain't ever like you planned, oh, but man, ain't it working, working man. Now in shows like Idol, I know this because I did one, you're only allotted a certain amount of time for television purposes. So we had to leave out the bridge, and Noah, if you ever see this, you're forgiven this time, but the bridge goes like this. Yeah, it's sweat and blood and bruises, calloused hands hard as can be, but there's bread on your table, and there's presents under your tree. And I know you're tired, I know you're hurting, I know you broke down to the bone, but your bills are paid and there's smiling faces waiting on you at home. It ain't always easy, it ain't ever like you planned, oh, but man, ain't it working, working man. It ain't always easy, it ain't nothing like you planned, oh, but man, ain't it working, working man. That's a song called Working Man, y'all. Kevin MaC had to dip out for a minute, evidently. So, lucky for y'all, we've got a host on deck here tonight. So, I'll step in for the time being and introduce my good friend, Mr. Nate Fredrick. How are you, brother?
How are you, man? I'm glad to be here.
Man, I am glad to have you here. I'm glad to be in the studio with you.
Absolutely.
Gave you a shout out. I think it was the last time I was on the show. I was pointing out some records that I had on the wall, and yours was hanging up there, man. I love that thing.
Hope I can play the song that we wrote at some point.
You play that one? I would love for you to. Anytime. What are you going to play right now?
I'm going to play title track of that record. It's called Different Shade of Blue.
Yeah.
I wrote it with my friend Matt Daniel. It was one of the first songs that we ever wrote together.
Nate Fredrick.
I myself believe an apparition. Did I be just fine at it on my own? But now I find myself in this here condition, missing your sweet voice on the telephone, because we hit all the high notes, now flying so low, and the grapevine's telling me not to come back around. Is this grain of grass I'm standing on the other side of you? 'Cause it's turning me no different shade of blue. It was a day, honey, when I called you mine. We made love at supper and a bottle of wine, and I know I promised you it's your day. Yeah, but who was I to tell myself to leave? Because we hit all the high notes, now I'm flying so low, and the grapevine's telling me not to come back around. Is this a grain of grass I'm standing on the other side of you? 'Cause it's turning me no different shade of blue. because we hit all the high notes. Now I'm flying so low, and the grapevine's telling me not to come back around. Is this a green of grass I'm standing on the other side of you? 'Cause it's turning me to a different shade of blue. Hell, it's turning me a different shade of blue.
Oh yeah, man, that's Nate Fredrick, y'all. Man, I'm so glad you're in here. And that's the title track off of the record you put out not too long ago, right? Where can people find that record? Because Father's Day is this weekend.
You can find it on natefrederickmusic.com, or you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, or any of the other streaming services. Or if you can track me down and find me, you can find it too.
I recommend
It's hard to
everybody
do
go to
that,
natefrederickmusic.com and order the big old record. It looks great on the wall. It looks great on my wall, man. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Yeah,
And I
glad
can't
to
wait
be
to
here.
hear some more tunes here in a minute. We're going to slide on over here to Philip Bowen. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Man, couldn't be doing any bad. We're in the air conditioning down here in Tennessee. That's where you want to be right now.
I
It
know,
is
man.
oppressively hot, but that's
hear you.
okay, man.
I hear you. It was scorching hot in Michigan today, too. It was like 96 today, so I've been sweating all day, man. Been sweating all day.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll let you go ahead and start us off, pick us a tune here real quick, and then we're going to hear some more about your story here as we go along with the show tonight, if that's
All
cool
right,
with you.
that sounds great. That sounds great. I'll play one I wrote with the elusive Kevin MaC. This is a
It's an apparition, right?
Yeah, the ghostly Kevin MaC. We wrote this together. It's the first song we ever wrote together. One of the first times we met, and we were talking about, just like life with kids and kind of how your perspective on things changes and stuff like that. So, anyways, this song is called "Call on Me." Do the best with what you got. Take a little, give a lot. Be kind to those who don't have a friend. And call your mama every day. And don't ever act your age. And finish what you started to the end. So don't you get too big to dance with me. And never turn your back on family. Because what I know most of all is if you need help, big or small, and don't forget that you can always call on me. And when you feel left behind, take a walk to ease your mind. Don't be scared to take the long way to get it right. Know your worth, respect yourself, stand up tall and protect your health. Seek the beauty that's inside and shine a light. So don't you get too big to dance with me. And never turn your back on family. Because what I know most of all is if you need help, big or small, but don't forget that you can always call on me. I wish I wasn't going anywhere, and when I'm gone I'll watch from way up there. And you can bet I'll be so proud of who you are. Just hold me close and take my hand. One more song with your old man. I wanna soak in every moment of where we are. So don't you get too big to dance with me. And never turn your back on family. Because what I know most of all is if you need help, big or small, don't forget that you can always call on me. Call on me.
That's Philip Bowen, y'all, from coming at us from the great state of Michigan. And man, I can't wait to get back around to you here in a little bit. I want to hear more about your story.
Yeah.
Kevin's actually played that song on Southern Rounds before, so that's not the first time some of
Oh,
this
love
audience
that.
has heard it. So we know a little bit about you, but man, it's an
Yes.
interesting story, and I can't wait to hear more about you and hear more songs from you, man.
For sure, for sure.
Well, I got to tell you what, guys. I'm going to pull double duty at this point because we had a little bit of an issue with K-Mac, and that happens. That's no big deal. That's the reason I'm here. So we're going to pass it on over to me right now. And I'm going to play y'all. I got to thinking about what I wanted to play tonight. I've been on this show a few times. Thought I'd try out some new stuff if that's okay. Probably going to try it out even if it's not okay. But for the last little while now, been kind of trying to figure out a plan for to come up with some music to release hopefully before too long. And really thinking about that from all angles. What do I want to say? Where am I at right now? What's my voice? And man, I've gotten together with some really cool songwriters and written some cool songs, and I've written some cool stuff. Stuff that I think's pretty cool by myself as well. But this is one that I wrote with I think he's one of the best songwriters in town. He's a hell of a producer too. He's a guy named Randy Montana. He's a fantastic guy. And we got together over at Warner Chapel here in Nashville. They've got a great new little office over there too, by the way. And he said, man, I had this idea about, just kind of a big kid. Never really grew up. I always wanted to be a cowboy, and I'm still kind of living out some of these fantasies through music. And I said, yeah, man, I get that too, and I also see it from the other perspective. I'm sitting here wearing pearl snap shirts and jeans, and I've usually got boots on, but it's too hot, and belt buckles, and man, I couldn't saddle a horse if you put one out here and gave me $1 million to do it. I said it before, I'm an imposter. We just write about stuff, We sat down and wrote this song kind of about both of those ideas. This song called We All Want to Be Cowboys. I love a broken pair of boots, straight whiskey cause it's tough, and that little sound you hear when a pearl snap buttons up. Born 200 years too late in a 1,000-horse town, a far cry from the Duke, but deep down we all want to be cowboys, first light heading out, boys. It's as far as my pony can ride, my Stetson silhouette, all the way to the sunset, where the stars got nowhere to hide. We all want to be cowboys. We all want to be cowboys. Wear a buckle on my belt for a bull I never rode, Fort Worth engraved in silver, Texas there in gold. I guess the guy who won it must have fell on harder times, or left it like a rose for the girl he left behind. We all want to be cowboys, first light heading out, boys. As far as my pony can ride, my Stetson silhouette, all the way to the sunset, where the stars got nowhere to hide. We all want to be cowboys. We all want to be cowboys. Your lady. Spurs in the reins, the dirt on the plains, and them cattle we're bringing back home. With my rope and my gun, wide open I'll run, till my saddle lays next to my stone. We all want to be cowboys, first light heading out, boys. Just as far as my pony can ride, my Stetson silhouette, all the way to the sunset, the stars got nowhere to hide. We all want to be cowboys. 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 cowboy
Yeah,
songs, yo.
Love that.
Might be full of shit, but they sometimes sound pretty, you know? Anyhow, that was one, like I say, I wrote with Randy Montana. I dig playing that song. I appreciate y'all let me play it on here. We're gonna pass it back over to my brother Nate Fredrick, man. I'll tell you what, Nate, it's been a minute since you've been on the show, man. Would you kind of tell us a little bit about your journey in music and how you got to Nashville, where you're from, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've lived in Nashville. It'll be 7 years in July. I moved from Springfield, Missouri in 2015. And it took me 3 years really of like working in bars and at golf courses and just kind of fumbling around to find my group of people that I really connected with.
That's important.
Yeah, it just, I didn't know if they existed. I knew that, the way that it was going, that I was bound to just be alone until I found one of those people, and that person ended up being a guy named Brian Nelson at Revival. And
Brian Nelson's everybody's best friend.
I mean, he
doesn't meet a stranger.
He
either.
really doesn't. No, he still doesn't. He's still full go and everything. And
Totally.
Yeah, I left my guitar in the back of his truck and had to and was out late that night and had to go pick it back up at his house, and I barely knew him.
Right.
And now that I really do know him, like, he's a pretty dangerous guy to leave the guitar in the back of his truck. But so I got over there, and my other friend who I mentioned before that I wrote Different Shade of Blue with, Matt Daniel, was living with him at the time. So that's when I met him, and I met a guy named Job Fortner. And then about a week before that, I met Ben Chapman.
Yeah.
And it just kind of all fell into place in about a week.
That's great, man. Yeah, it is,
3 years, and then one night in a week,
Totally. Yeah, this town, man, it can be overwhelming when you get here, and it seems like everybody else knows everybody else, even when they don't,
Well, yeah, I mean.
And then but then you find your crew, the people that seem to get you, and at least are somewhat like-minded in it, man. That makes it makes a world of difference for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at first you just want to make a friend,
right?
And then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'd rather just be a little more selective,
right?
And so. Yeah, it's a tough town. I mean, it is, but it's a beautiful thing,
Man, 7 years in, man, that's something to be proud of, right?
It's been probably effectively like 5.5 years.
Well,
I spent a lot of time going back and forth home the first couple of years.
Hey, man, that's okay. I wrote a bunch of really bad songs before I ever got to. I still count.
There's a certain amount of undoing that you have to do.
Not saying that you did that.
I definitely did my own undoing.
Well, Nate Fredrick, y'all, what are you going to play for us now?
I'm going to play a song called Patches that I wrote with Joy Beth Taylor.
Nice.
Who's a fantastic young lady and writer.
Excuse me, y'all.
This song is on that record, too. It's the last song on it. Lit 'em on Saturday morning. It's nothing like pair of jeans that I want in, but Mama's bandana, patchwork, come undone. I slide into home, that back right pocket just couldn't hold on. There's nothing Mama can't sew, but she couldn't stitch or fix this time. I guess that's the way it goes. Some things you can fix till it just stay broke. You can reminisce till the cows come home. There ain't no sense when there's too many holes. So it's in with the new and out with the old. His dad drove it 10 years before. Brother got the keys to that Chrysler 4-door. By the time he was 16, he was 23. He said good luck with that thing, with a smile and a wink. He tossed him the key.
ran for a week till that old engine just gave out. I guess that's the way it goes. Some things you can fix till they just stay broke. You can reminisce till the cows come home. There ain't no sense when there's too many holes. So it's in with the new and out with the old. She was his first kiss, but he didn't know then wouldn't be his last goodbye. I suppose even people wear out sometimes. I guess that's the way it goes. Some things you can fix till they just stay broke. You can reminisce till the cows come home. There ain't no sense when there's too many holes. So it's in with the new and out with the old. Oh, it's in with the new and out with the old.
Yeah, buddy. Man, that's great stuff.
Thank you, man.
I love listening to you play, man. I remember I saw you the first time 6 or 8 months ago, man, and was like, I got to get together with that guy.
That was great. Yeah,
Come up with something cool.
we've written one time, and I love that song.
I do too, man.
I'm gonna cut that song if you give me permission.
You cut it all the way you want. I'll sing background vocals on it if you need
Yeah,
me to.
man.
Just call me up, buddy. I'm in. Well, Philip Bowen, man.
Yes, sir.
Little Birdie told me you're going to be making, or you are going to, or just recently made a Bluebird debut. Is that correct?
Yeah, just recently. So maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, man.
That was awesome. I
Well,
played
tell
with.
us a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, it was.
How that
it
came
was,
about. And,
It was incredible. I started writing with Kevin, through just some of the stuff that's happened online for me, like with all the social media stuff that's
Yeah.
grown. So
oh, we're going to get there too. I guess.
yeah, I that's like anyways, I decided to make a run at music, and this is a few years ago. I was like, I should have never stopped, and I really want to make something with this. And then of course COVID happened, and I started doing everything online just to kind of keep it going.
Sure.
And so through all of that, I met Kevin, and he's like, well, what are some of your goals? I was like, man, I want to play the Bluebird one day, and one of these days I'd like to play a song I wrote like at the opera. He's like, well, I can help you with the Bluebird for sure. So we connected, and so I was down in Nashville for about a week a couple weeks ago, and I did a writing session over at Warner Chapel. Like their
Nice.
space is amazing over there.
Yeah.
With a couple like Styles Hari and James Kelly. And then just had a really fun week. And then Thursday night played at the Bluebird with Jacob Lyda and Kevin MaC. And it was just an incredible experience to do that and like play, 5 or 6 of your songs there. It was just incredible.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
congratulations to you for that's a big deal, man. That's really
Yeah.
cool. And we're glad that you're able to come back down, and hope you'll holler at. Man, give me a shout next time you're down
Dude,
this way.
for sure. For which, we're in that phase where we're just trying to figure out like, how to make it happen, when we want to make it happen. I feel like it's a good spot for us. So
Well, I'll
I'll
tell
be
you,
down- I'll be
if
down
you
again.
figure out how to make it happen and all that, just let me know, please, okay? Because that's the secret everybody's
It's a
looking
relative term.
at. That's right. Well, tell us about what you're going to play next, man.
All right, I'm going to play a song for y'all called Anymore, and it's a song based on a broken watch and a conversation with my grandpa. And here's a watch right here. It's
right
a
on, man.
it's a gold watch. It's my grandma gave that to my grandpa on their 50th anniversary. And like within the span of about the same year, I was very close to my grandparents, lived about a block away from them, small town, West Virginia. And at my grandmother's funeral, it was a beautiful day outside, and I was just, obviously all tore up. My grandpa had been a long few days for him. And he looked at me and he just put his hand on my shoulder and he said, Phil, they're never going to make him like her anymore. And,
Oh, man.
and like hit me like a ton of bricks. And of course I have his watch at my studio. So like, I just always have it up, and I don't know, maybe like a year ago, it stopped working while I was writing something else.
Oh, wow.
And so when that happened, I just felt like this big sense of loss because I felt like he had just passed away a few months before that. And anyways, I remembered that conversation that he had about my grandmother. And so it kind of just all came together in my mind. So the song is based off of that conversation and this broken watch I got right here.
Yeah, man. Well, play it for us.
All right, this is called Anymore. I wear a gold watch handed down from my grandpa. I've been blue 'cause it stopped telling time a week ago. I took it in and this old man couldn't find the parts to fix it. He said, son, I guess they just don't make them like that anymore. My, oh my, does it ever get much better? There always seems to be some pain in store. Why, oh why, can't the best things last forever? I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. The day they buried Mama, it was snowing on the mountain. I was fighting back the sadness through every note and every chord. The tears are rolling down, but then I saw my grandpa smiling. He said, son, I don't think they'll ever make them like her anymore. My, oh my, does it ever get much better? There always seems to be some pain in store. Why, oh why, can't the best things last forever? I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. I play a violin made by hand in the 40s. And that old girl can sing the sweetest song you ever heard. I can see him up there dancing to the waltzes I am playing. And I bet that they don't miss this old world too much anymore. And I bet that they don't miss this old world too much anymore. My, oh my, does it ever get much better? There always seems to be some pain in store. Why, oh why, can't the best things last forever? I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. My, oh my, does it ever get much better? There always seems to be some pain in store. Why, oh why, can't the best things last forever? I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore. I guess they just don't make them like they used to anymore.
Yeah, man. That's great. That's lovely.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I could tell just watching you play that, man, it's clear that that's a personal one for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man.
We appreciate you sharing that, man. And
Thanks,
once
Phil.
again, look
Pleasure
forward to
being here
hearing
with y'all.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally our pleasure having you here, buddy. Like I say, we're going to get to all the how Kevin got to know you and how a whole lot of these people got to know you here in just a little bit too. But for now, we're going to pass it over to me.
Let's do it.
And I'm going to work. Yeah, I just did the thing that always annoys me that other people do at Riders Round. I had to borrow Nate's tuner because I stepped on mine this
I just
weekend and
can't
broke
believe I
it.
even had one, so I'm happy to share.
Well, I appreciate that, buddy.
Maybe somebody else does.
But this one sounds better in tune. This is another relatively new song. So I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and lived for a long time in Knoxville. That's kind of where I first started writing songs and trying to do this whole thing. And so I wrote a whole lot by myself. And it's something that I've always loved doing, and I'm glad I'm able to do. And then I moved to Nashville, and you know, Nashville is all about co-writing, man. You've got to get in a room with one or two other people and And I understand why, because oftentimes, this for Nate, for example, when we sat down, his style, we like a lot of the same stuff, but he hears music a little bit differently than I do, and it turns my brain on in a way that I wouldn't have thought. And I love that, man. It's a great skill to have also. But I also find myself from time to time, if I have an idea that I like, I'll, rather than once upon a time, I'd just sit down and write it in the moment. And now I find myself sometimes waiting and holding, well, maybe this would be good for, I'm going to write with so-and-so next week. And so this was an idea that I'd had running around my head for a little bit, and I hadn't done anything with it. And I woke up early one morning, and the day before, my dad had sent me a bunch of pictures of my brother and him and my nephew. They had all gone crappie fishing, and man, they had just slayed out on Chickamauga Lake, where we had gone so many times. It got me thinking about fishing songs. And so I wrote a fishing song. And it goes like this. Daddy put the tackle box in the bed, a couple of rods and an igloo red. There ain't a better way to start a Saturday. He said he saw the full moon late last night, and son, if we can find them, I bet they're biting. We can stop for bait. I can't hardly wait. He rolled that window down and stuck his elbow out, and I put my hand in the wind, making waves all the way down to a hole he knows where the big old bluegill run. Him behind the wheel and me riding shotgun. Morning rolled away without a bite. I guess sometimes you do everything right, but you're out of luck, or your hook gets stuck. He said we gotta do something different even if it's wrong, but I couldn't be happier here so long as there's a little breeze, and he's right here with me. He cranked that engine up and turned the boat around, and I stuck my hand in the wind, making waves all the way down to a hole he was told the big old bluegill run. Him behind the wheel and me riding shotgun. If we don't catch one thing, Daddy, I don't mind, 'cause when it's you and me, it's never wasted time. Now we're heading back in with our tails tucked low, tired and nasty, nothing to show but a sunburn and half a box of worms. Not a catfish, crappie, or bluegill brim. He just smiled and said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, just like heroes do. He's got that window down in his elbow out, and my head on his shoulder, half asleep all the way down. Figured we'd have fish to fry tonight when the day'd begun. Now 2 burgers in a bag, heading home with the setting sun. Him behind the wheel and me riding shotgun. Fishing songs.
Yeah, I love that.
Daddy songs. You know, I started writing that, and I was like, we'll make it about my dad. You know, I had the idea was riding shotgun. You know, just the thought. I was like, I don't know that I'd ever really heard somebody do that the way it was in my head. And I had that little image of that thing you do that we all do when we're kids.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that everybody else does. You know?
That's my favorite line, the hand wave. That was awesome.
One of those little weird ticks that we all do that nobody really, you know, talks about. But I wrote that first verse, and I was like, man, I don't really know where to go from here. Because oftentimes you write a song with a daddy and a son, And the next verse, the son's grown up. And the last verse, we're killing dad off. And I've killed my dad off in so many songs. Hi, Dad. If you're listening, I was like, I just can't do it to my old man anymore. You know, it's just not fair. And so I was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, they ain't going to catch no fish. Because I know those other two songs I don't know a whole lot about. I'm an imposter on that one. I know a whole lot about going fishing and not catching a damn thing. So
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I've never. Yeah.
that was
I
true
like
to
catching,
life.
but I never. Yeah, that's why I don't fish.
That's true to life right there. But no, thank y'all for listening to it. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We got a tip jar set up out there. We're going to make sure we take care of these guys also tonight. So we appreciate everybody who's tuning in from all over the place. And we're going to turn it back over to Nate Fredrick here, right here. Man, Nate, you got any shows or anything like that coming up that you can tell us about?
I've got, in July, I've got 2 shows in South Carolina at Steel Hands Brewery. And then I've got a show back down here in Nashville at the Analog.
Nice.
And
Love
then,
the Analog.
Yeah, and then I've got a show on the 7th at the Mercury Lounge in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Nice, man.
So
And we can find that, so we can follow you on...
you can follow me on Instagram or Spotify or...
And I'd imagine if you all do...
any of that stuff.
And you can find his handle for all that at Southern Rounds. We've tagged him and everything, so y'all make sure you're following Southern Rounds. If you're watching us on YouTube, click the subscribe button. It helps us get information out to you about upcoming shows. And make sure you're following Nate Fredrick, and he'll find out where you can see him live. You definitely want to do that if you ever have an opportunity, man.
Appreciate you.
What you gonna play for us now, buddy?
I'm gonna play a new one, actually.
Nice.
One that is in the basket for new songs for a record. I'm gonna try to maybe do it in August, or I don't really know, but it needs to be done sooner than later.
I agree.
And so my buddy, he was a childhood friend. He lives in Dallas now, but he just had a little girl that turned 1 a day before my birthday, May 28th. And before she was born, we were kind of talking about the idea and you know, the nerves of him becoming a father, and I had no advice to give.
I know all about that.
You know, and so we were kind of kicking around just, you know, that whole emotional experience, and so we kind of started to write, you know, just talk a song, more than write one, and then I came back to Nashville and finished it up, and pretty much wrote it, dedicated it to her, and her name's Stratton, and it's called Eyes on You. She was born at 5:07.
AM or PM?
I think it's PM.
That's I've had early AM and about 5 o'clock, and 5 o'clock PM's better.
Me too.
Oh, I would imagine, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Nate Fredrick, y'all.
A bottle of whiskey in a waiting room, anticipating those baby blues. There's not much else that a man can do. Sit and wait on this baby girl's first debut. 7 after 5 when I lay my eyes on you. It's funny what 2 fools in love can do. You were right on time, not a moment too soon. I knew my life would be forever changed. Early in the evening, 28th of May, 7 after 5 when I lay my eyes on you. There's nothing stronger than a father's love. Must have been sent from heaven above. There's tether tying us together forever. And it was 7 after 5 when I lay my eyes on you. And it was 7 after 5 when I lay my eyes on you.
Yeah, man, you're gonna make a daddy cry over here if you're not careful. Dang. Oh man, somebody else singing your feelings, you know.
Is that how it is? Because I don't know.
That's a lot of how it is, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
pretty good.
The second one, you're just kind of like, yeah, it'll be fine. Whatever.
Right, but the first, yeah.
Just kidding. There, it's pretty incredible all the way around.
I would imagine so. There's a lot of, I mean, to see the men before and after, it's a total change.
Yeah, for
Whether
sure.
they're really excited, even, you know, I mean, they're still changed in it.
Totally.
Their eyes just look different. They just,
Yeah.
they feel like you know, it's
it's
pretty remarkable.
There's something to be said for, you know, this. It's the only thing you're going to bring into the world is going to be here, who should be here when you're gone. You know, I mean, like you know,
It's cool.
it's a part of you that's going to live on, and that may be a egotistical way to think about it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but
Sure.
it is pretty amazing, man. Anyhow, we can sit here and have daddy talk all night, but we'll pass it on back up because we need to hear about, you know, I've been waiting. I was like, we got to pace this show a little bit. Philip, you got to tell us, man. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
in this world down here in Nashville, you go and meet folks, and they're always like, you got to get more social media followers. So what's the deal, man? What do you do? How do we be like you, dude? And tell us about how all that happened for you, man. Tell us about that whole thing.
Well, you know, like I obviously I love writing songs and I love singing, and it was hard for me, like, you know, when I was trying to do stuff online, let's say specifically, there's lots of people that get up there with the guitar and singing a song they wrote, and I was like, well, what do I do that's a little bit different that maybe I can use just to get like a big crowd in the room, and then I'll start singing my stuff. So I've been playing the fiddle since I was like 4 years old. That's my first love. And so kind of when I first started out, I was like tired of like I'd not get any viewers in the room or whatever. And so I turned on a streaming service and I just put as the title, I'll play anything you want on my fiddle. And so I just let people start requesting. And, you know, man, it was like the second or third one I did in like an hour. In an hour, I had over 400,000 total views in an hour.
Oh,
and it was
wow.
like, it was crazy. And it was like just one of those things where like it was like this little spark and it like showed me maybe what could be possible, you know? And so I don't know, I just started kind of riding that train, and I would get on and do streams and play the fiddle, and then start slowly introduce my stuff into the mix.
Yeah.
And then, you know, until people started asking for it. And then now they ask for it, and I still kind of do that kind of combination. That's helped me. It's helped me a lot. And it's also helped me meet a lot of people in Nashville.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
I do like a lot of session work and stuff with the fiddle. So it's been a great tool for helping me meet people and play on different people's stuff and all kinds of cool things.
That's great, man. Yeah, that's a wonderful story. I was hoping you really would give me a step by step, and the first thing was you have to be good at the fiddle, so I'm out right there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too.
but no, that's awesome, man. And that's man, it's any way you can find a way to
Exactly.
to get your artwork out there, I think is wonderful. So that's good for you, man, for finding that.
I have a question. It's kind of a joke too. So, when you first started playing the fiddle, did you take lessons or did you just kind of fiddle around with it?
Yeah. So this is funny because I saw this. That was really good. Just filling around. I was like watching Sesame Street, and this dude was playing the fiddle. I was like 4 years old, and I started, you know, as that kid that day, I was just fixated on it. I kept begging my mom, and there's like a small little community college in Montgomery, West Virginia. About 2,000 people in this town. And so they had a music department at the college, and this guy was an oboe player, but he knew music. So my first like 5 or 6 years of learning the fiddle, I learned from an oboe player who didn't play the fiddle. But you know,
really cool.
Everybody and their mother in Appalachia plays an instrument, you know, so anywhere you go, people are bringing their stuff. So my dad would just sit me in front of people and be like, just play what they're playing. Just listen. And so that's how I got, you know, kind of good at just that call and response stuff where you just listen to the old timers play. And,
Dude, that's beautiful.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's the best part of the whole story right there. I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well,
man.
tell us about what you're gonna play next, dude.
Oh, all right. Let's see here. So, let's play. I'm gonna play a song called Stella, and it made me think of it because, you know, since we're on the dad thing, my youngest daughter is named Stella, and I kind of I like to write by myself too. I really recently, over the last year or so, I've done a lot more co-writing, but I used to be terrified of it. I wanted to, you know, own all my stuff, you know, and so this one kind of came to me quickly when I was having a conversation with my little girl when she was about 4 at the time. And so this song is just kind of that perspective of somebody, you know, talking to their daughter, but it doesn't have to be a father-daughter song, but it's called Stella. I'll play it for you. Let's go. Hey there, Stella. What you doing? Is the whole world standing in your way? 'Cause I've been thinking about tomorrow, how it's gonna be a brand new day. Hey, hey, Stella, dry your eyes, don't you cry now. I know it gets dark at night, 'cause I've been thinking about tomorrow. It's gonna be a brighter day. Yeah, it's gonna be alright. Hey there, Stella. I know it's raining, honey. It's pouring down and we both miss the sun. I've been thinking if we can laugh a little, it'll warm us till the blue sky comes. Hey, hey, Stella, dry your eyes, don't you cry now. I know it gets dark at night, 'cause I've been thinking about tomorrow. It's gonna be a brighter day. Yeah, it's gonna be alright. Hey there, Stella, don't you listen to them. Folks can be so cruel when they want to be. And I've been thinking, if we can love the weakest, we can save them from their misery. Hey, hey, Stella, dry your eyes, don't you cry now. I know it gets dark at night, 'cause I've been thinking about tomorrow. It's gonna be a brighter day. Hey there, Stella, are you lonely? Well, do you feel like giving up sometimes? And I've been thinking how much I love you. You got a friend in me for life, if that's alright with you. It's alright with me. Hey, hey, Stella, dry your eyes, don't you cry now. I know it gets dark at night, 'cause I've been thinking about tomorrow. It's gonna be a brighter day. Hey, Stella, it's gonna be alright.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
there you go.
I love that, buddy.
That's
Thank
now, you know, I understand this is different than what I'm getting ready to say, but I think we need to name the people in songs more. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
always girl and you and me and
I
whatever.
agree with that.
We need to give them a proper name every now and again. Man.
Mhm.
I
I like
appreciate
that.
you doing that.
I'm with you. Thank y'all.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna try to tune up with Nate's tuner again here, and it's what it's telling me on the screen right now is I need to change these strings before I get to New Jersey, which is something I can do. But I'm gonna play y'all another new song, man. This song is I think it's 9 days old, and I really love it. I wrote it with a couple of guys. I drove up to Ashland City, which is about an hour. I live a little south of Nashville, southeast from Nashville. Ashland City's northwest of Nashville. To write with two guys, two Southern Round alums, a guy named Rob Snyder and a guy named Jonathan Singleton. And look either of those guys up, and you'll see why I drove that far to write with them. They're both incredible songwriters and even better guys. But we got there and we just kind of started. Now, Rob and I have written a ton of songs together and go back for a long time. And I've known Jonathan for a long time, but we had never written together. And so we do like you do in a lot of these especially first time right, you spend about an hour with, man, how's it going? How's your family? How's everything doing? Oh, yeah, y'all hungry? Need anything to drink? Anything to eat? Got any good ideas? And everybody fumbles through and looks at their phone and throws stuff out for a little while. And I threw out an idea that we didn't even end up using, but after about 45 minutes, it took us to the hook of this song. And I just really like it. I don't think I've played it out at all yet. So this is, when people do this on the show, I call it a Southern Rounds exclusive. So breaking news right here, we're going to give it a shot. It ought to be easy. I bet it don't take long. You'll find a better man than me and just move on. On the other side of that slamming door, down that highway you'll find whatever it is you're looking for. Watching you walk away, what the hell am I supposed to say? Who's gonna take your love for granted? Use up all of your second chances. When you need someone to blame, baby, who's gonna play that part? Who's gonna stay out all night drinking, lie to you without even blinking? You gonna promise you forever knowing it'll never get that far, like I do. Yeah, who's gonna break your heart? You get to missing lonely, thinking about coming back around. I'll be right here waiting, baby, to bring you down. The door ain't locked, come on in. If you ever get to wondering who's gonna take your love for granted, use up all of your second chances. You need someone to blame, baby, who's gonna play that part? Who's gonna stay out all night drinking, lie to you without even blinking? Who's gonna promise you forever knowing it'll never get that far, like I do? Yeah, who's gonna break your heart? Who's gonna take your love for granted? Use up all of your second chances. When you need someone to blame, baby, who's gonna play that part? Yeah, who's gonna stay out all night drinking, lie to you without even blinking? Who's gonna promise you forever knowing it'll never get that far, like I do? Yeah, who's gonna break your heart? Baby, who's gonna break your heart?
Yeah,
That's a brand new one there, y'all. Thought we'd give that a shot. Yeah, I dig singing that one, man. It's a fun tune. It was a fun one to write, for that matter. So, appreciate Jonathan Singleton and Rob Snyder for...
That sounds like some some Jonathan Singleton.
Oh, yeah. Anybody who's been around
That's
Jonathan,
radio.
you can
That's
hear.
got some radio.
That's the reason you write with
Yeah.
Jonathan. You know what I mean? Man knows what he's doing. So,
He does.
no, man, it was a pleasure to watch him work, and it was funny. We got done writing it because Jonathan's got a great setup in his place. And he goes, well, we gonna cut this or what? So you write the song, come out with a demo right there,
Yeah,
man. It's a
man.
one-stop shop. It was pretty fantastic.
That's pretty
So he's a great guy again, and obviously Rob, one of my best friends of the world. So thank you guys for that song.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah, good guys. Speaking of salt of the earth and good dudes, Nate Fredrick's gonna play us one here.
All right. This is a song I wrote with Ben Chapman and Matt Daniel. It's called "The Dreamer." It's about an 18-year-old kid looking for an older woman.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know you when I was 18.
I think Ben was about 18 when we wrote it.
Probably so.
Sorry, Ben. Well, I remembered her from years before. I was 18, she was 34. I've been on a search for something more. There she was. I saw her standing there across the room with the pit in my stomach that was about to bloom. I finally mustered up just enough courage to say hello. Hell, I'd known Katie was her name. She didn't remember mine, but it was all the same. And as I threw my hook into a wishing well, we were interrupted by an older fellow. 2 tall drinks and a shitty grin. I could tell that he was her man. There was only one thing left to do, so I laid it on her. I said, I've been trying to make you love me from the other side of this room. I spent most of my years just chasing my tail, and it's brought me right here to you. I may be young, but a man can dream, can he? You damn right he can. There's a lot to be learned when you're 18, and the world was a big place for a boy like me. But if you don't put your hand in the flame, feel the fire, you might as well just pack it up and retire. And I don't regret a word I said, or a cheap shot that I took to the head from her boyfriend when I leaned in to give her a kiss. Sorry, man. I've been trying to make you love me from the other side of this room. I spent most of my years just chasing my tail, and it's brought me right here to you. I may be young, but a man can dream, can he? You damn right he can. Sure, there's a moral to this song. Never too old, never too young to follow that feeling inside your heart. It's the best place to start. I've been trying to make you love me from the other side of this room. I spent most of my years just chasing my tail, and it's brought me right here to you. I may be young, but a man can dream, can he? Well, can he? You damn right he can.
Yeah,
That's
man.
so good. That's so good.
I heard
That
you
was
so
a fun
good.
one to write.
Y'all never
to
listened to any Guy Clark in your life before that, had you?
No, we had just like started. Yeah. Well, I mean, Ben, like Channing was
Yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
Ben's like mentor, and
Right.
he was. We all know how much he.
Oh, yeah, for
Guy
sure.
Clark- yeah. So, but we started watching a lot of the Heartworn Highway
Oh, yeah.
and all that, and somehow in the midst of that, me and Ben were in like a dark room, and we were just typing out this goofy
Yeah.
story on a laptop, and it just kind of
I love it. No, that's a
Yeah.
that's a compliment.
We
Coming
did
from
not
you, man.
set out to try to do that because that's not something you can do.
Hey man, I was gonna say if you're going
Anything- you
set out
fall
to try to be
short.
like somebody, that's as good as person to try to set out to be
You-
like. 'Cause
you-
I've
you are
tried a million
right.
times.
It's a tall order. To he was a poet
Yeah,
first.
he's as good as anybody ever was, in my opinion.
Mhm.
That we're talking about a guy named Guy Clark. Anybody who's listening who's never listened to Guy Clark, I encourage you, if you're into this show, man, just go just start at the beginning and work your way through. He is, in my opinion, the greatest songwriter of all time. So, and the Channing we were talking about is a guy named Channing
Yeah.
Wilson. Channing Wilson is a Southern Rounds man. He is a complete veteran. So go check out all of his stuff too. Speaking of people you want to check out, Philip Bowen is here for another one real quickly, man. Tell us about what you're gonna play for us here, buddy.
Yeah, man. I wrote this one when I was down there in Nashville with a fellow West Virginia native, a guy named Ryan Lafferty, and we had connected over social media after I had worked on a song for somebody else he had written a song for. And anyway, so he came over to write with me, and he's like, "Man, you got any ideas about West Virginia?" And I was like, "I do, man. I do. I got one I've been working on for a while. I just can't finish it." And so, anyways, this song is called "Vampire in Appalachia," and it's just about everything that goes on there, and just kind of the unique struggles of Appalachia. So
There you go.
this is "Vampire in Appalachia." Yeah, he worked his whole life in the hills, way below the roads and rivers, where that black diamond lives, black on black, dust on dust, and keeps filling up his lungs. While the rich keep getting richer, and the sick keep getting sicker, there's a vampire in Appalachia, and we're running out of blood. And all the money leaves for Wall Street or someplace across the sea. There ain't enough to pay the teachers, and the drugs keep flowing free. It's hard to find a friend or neighbor that ain't lost someone they love. There's a vampire in Appalachia, and we're running out of blood. Oh, oh, they used to hide out in the shadow. They used to haunt me in my dreams. And now he's standing front and center in the spotlight for you and me and all the world to see. But in the soul of the afflicted, those roots still grow down deep. We don't run away or play the victim. We got promises to keep for the future, for our families. We rise up again to tell. We fight the vampire in Appalachia. Fight the vampire in Appalachia. There's a vampire in Appalachia, and we send him back to hell. Oh, oh,
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. I love that.
That's clever.
I love
Thank
that idea, man. That's
Thank
good stuff, y'all. That's Philip Bowen, man. He's making his Southern Rounds debut, and I'll say this, man. You got to be careful. They might not ever let you back into West Virginia if you keep forgetting to put the by God in the middle there.
West by God. That's West by God.
I'm just telling you. I know them folks from West Virginia. They take that stuff
Hey,
seriously.
man, that's all right.
man.
They see my flags behind me. They know where I'm from. They know where I'm from.
Fair enough. All you need is somebody from Tennessee trying to tell you how to be from West Virginia. Right?
This is so much fun. I really appreciate y'all having me. This is so much fun. And
Oh, man.
Oh,
likewise,
man.
brother.
Thank
y'all
you
are
for
singing
being
some
here.
killer stuff. I love these songs.
Right
That-
back at you, man.
Yeah.
Bro, that
Absolutely.
Apple song, I don't know if that was one of yours. That Apple song you were singing at the beginning.
Yeah, man, I'm actually gonna play that right now.
Dude.
We worked that out perfectly.
Yeah, we didn't even plan that, but like I want to hear that because I really like that.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man. Yeah, we were sound checking a while ago before the show started, and it's just the one that came to mind for whatever reason. Probably because I was hanging out with Levi Lowry this past weekend. He's the guy that I wrote this song with, and Levi. Speaking of fiddle players, man, he is one of my favorites. The guy is just super tasteful. He has such a great ear for melody, and during the pandemic, Levi and I did a decent amount of Zoom writing. He lives down in Georgia. And this song came about. This was the first song we wrote right after his dad passed away. And he brought it and he said, "Man, I've been holding on to this idea. I don't really know what to do with it." He goes, "I think you might be the guy to write it with," which is always, first off, extremely flattering and at the same time terrifying, because you're like, this person's been holding this idea. What if A, we try to write it, it stinks and it's my fault, or B, what if it's an idea that I think is terrible that I don't really want to write? And luckily in this case, it didn't turn out that way. It turned out to be one of my favorite songs that I've written in a little while. It's called "The Apple in the Tree." The apple looked up to the tree. He said, "When you gonna let go of me? You've been hanging on for so long now. Ain't it time for me to fall? Ain't it time for me to fall?" The tree looked down at the apple green. He said, "Falling sun ain't all it seems. It's a long way down and the ground is hard. So let me hold you for a while, let me hold you for a while. 'Cause when the strong wind blows and the rain comes down, it's me that keeps you safe and sound. Plant one seed there in your heart. You can roll away, but don't roll far. Roll away, but don't roll far. The apple looked up to the tree so high, said, "I did not know I could not fly. Where am I supposed to go from here? There ain't no place left to fall. There's no place left to fall." And that tree looked down at the apple red. He said, "Listen, boy, just use your head. Everything you need to grow tall and strong is right there in your heart. Is right there in your heart. And when the strong wind blows and the rain comes down, it's me that keeps you safe and sound. Plant one seed there in your heart. Oh, you can roll away, but don't roll far. Roll away, but don't roll far. The apple looked down at the tree, said, "I ain't ready yet for you to leave." That tree looked up and said, "Can't you see, boy, you've got branches of your own, branches of your own. When the strong wind blows and the rain comes down, it's me that keeps you safe and sound. Planted one seed there in your heart. Oh, you can roll away, but don't roll far. Roll away, but don't roll far." The apple looked up at the tree, Said, when you gonna let go of me?
Come on, man. Come on. That is so good.
We probably ripped off Shel Silverstein in there somewhere, but you
I
know.
don't know. That's
Man.
But yeah, man, I love that song. Thank y'all for asking for. I should have said before we started, boys, if it's okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this the last round. So, man, obviously, thank you guys for being here. Thank y'all for listening, and obviously to the audience, man, we appreciate you guys being here so much, week in and week out. And for any of you all who are new, we hope you'll tune back in a couple of weeks. We're gonna have another great show. Anybody who happens to be in New Jersey this weekend, come down to Wildwood. We'll be there every day of the Wildwood Festival up there. For the time being, Mr. Nate Fredrick's going to give us one more.
all right. Well, I'm gonna play the one that me and you wrote.
Oh,
It's called "Flat Tire in the Rain."
Love that.
It was our first and only song so far that we've done. But,
emphasis on the so far.
Yeah. And actually, back last year at Americana Fest, I did a couple videos with LR Bags, and come to find out that was one of the ones that I played. So
Oh,
tomorrow
nice.
they're putting that out, but it says unreleased, so it'll be
Nice.
there.
I love that.
Yeah. I just found that out a couple days ago. So, but anyway, sometimes having a flat tire in the rain's a pretty crappy luck, you
For
know.
sure.
But sometimes life throws that type of stuff at you, and you just got to keep going. And there's always a way out, and there's always a spare somewhere. So that's what this song's about.
That's right.
We're cruising along, grooving a song. Me and a little bit of worry be gone. Storm cloud rolling on the way back where I've been. And then the thundering sound up from the ground, pulling me over, trying to bring me down. But after this many miles, bad luck can't do me in. It's just a flat tire in the rain. Oh, it's hell of a time to have to make a change. Or there's a spare somewhere, no need to complain. It's just a flat tire in the rain.
Yeah.
It's just a flat tire in the rain. Oh, 2 years to the day, she said okay. Had about enough of the love of me. Didn't break my heart, but she gave it pretty good crack. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, had a good cry. If you don't mind the water, you don't have to stay dry. You ought to check me for feathers, way the weather rolls off my back. It's just a flat tire in the rain. Oh, it's hell of a time to have to make a change. But there's a spare somewhere, no need to complain. It's just a flat tire in the rain. It's just a flat tire in the rain. Oh, maybe it's your state of mind. You start looking around and you just might find that it's all about your point of view. Are you spinning the wheel, or is it spinning you? It's just a flat tire in the rain. Oh, it's hell of a time to have to make a change. But there's a spare somewhere, no need to complain. It's just a flat tire in the rain. It's just a flat tire in the rain. It's just a flat tire in the rain.
It's Nate Fredrick, man. I love
I
that
like
song.
that
It's a fun one.
Man, I'm glad you brought
It's
that
like
in.
Randy
Nate.
Newman on, like, you know.
I love
For
it.
sure.
That was
I love it, man. Well, we're gonna switch it over here to Philip Bowen from West Bygod, Virginia,
That's
by
right,
way
man.
of Michigan.
That's right.
We're gonna let you take us home, but real quickly before we do, man, once again, thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to Preetham and Nina and Richard and Wyatt and everybody behind the scenes. Kevin MaC for getting us started on here tonight, and then unceremoniously leaving us shortly thereafter. That's okay. That kind of thing happens. Everybody at Bubble Up and all the folks here in the studio, Graham and Greg and everybody. But thank you. Most importantly, thank you guys for tuning in, and obviously Nate Fredrick,
Yeah,
Philip
thank y'all.
Bowen, man. We hope you
Pleasure to
guys
be
will
here.
come back and do it again.
Heck yeah.
And Philip, why don't you take us home, brother?
Yeah, let's do. I got a song coming out on June 30th called "Better Way." So I'll play it for you right now. I'm cursed with always feeling restless. I'm no good for anxiety. I see the world and I wanna chase it. Maybe I don't know what's good for me. I'm exhausted from my dreaming and chasing, and I won't slow down until I can get better. Oh, I need a better way. Oh, I need a better way. Oh, you see me running, running. Hang on a little more, I'll make it better. When it's cold, all I can think of is summer. I wanna walk down to the beach with you. When we're old, I think we'll only regret it if we stay here where the skies don't turn blue. I'll float on and you can be like my tether. I will not give up, baby, never say never. Oh, I need a better way. Oh, I need a better way. Oh, you see me running, running. Hang on a little more, I'll make it better. Oh, I need a better way. Oh, I need a better way. Oh, yeah, you see me running, running. Hang on a little more, I'll make it better.
Philip Bowen, y'all. You said that song's coming out when, man?
June 30th.
June 30th. So y'all make sure you're. Well, this is the most redundant thing I've ever said, but make sure you're following it on social media.
Gotta plug it. Hey, you're the
He's
host.
got a
plug
million.
it, man.
He's got a million followers anyway. Like we need to tell him that, but no, yeah,
That's
June
amazing.
30th. So make sure y'all check that out. Nate Fredrick, make sure you're following him. He's gonna have some tour dates coming up this summer, and then hopefully getting back in the studio in August. Same thing with myself. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Tune back in on the 29th. We'll have a whole nother show, and pay attention to Southern Rounds. Follow us on all the social media stuff, so we'll keep you up to date with that lineup and some of the cool things that we've got coming up here before long as well. Yes, teaser alert for that. Nate Fredrick, Philip Bowen, y'all. My name is Dave Kennedy. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.